All right, welcome back. That was the article, and as we read at the beginning, the history of Korea does have a preference for sons for a very long time, and in the kind of modern era, the early 1980s, a bit of technology came along that allowed people to see more quickly, do they have a son or a daughter? More quickly meaning inside the womb rather than outside.
Ultrasound. Yeah.
It wasn't a surprise anymore, and therefore there was some parents took advantage of this and were able to select that they wanted to have sons rather than daughters. This abuse actually caused the government, I heard, to end the practice of having an ultrasound to gender the baby or sex the baby and figure out the gender. And now you can only get it at a certain time, I believe. It has to be at a certain, you can get it later, but not too soon.
I see.
To discourage that. But that sort of law may not be needed anymore because there has been a kind of cultural shift, paradigm shift, if you will, to preferring daughters. Now, could this mean that parents get ultrasounds and then rather prefer daughters than sons? Only time will tell. Although there's no significant gap right now, there is a prediction that there will be more female births than male births in Korea in the future. So yeah, that's a interesting sort of detail about Korea that's going to be something to look at as we go into the future.
Do you think most parents today are overly concerned about their children's futures?
Yes.
Yes, you do?
No, yes is not my answer.
Oh.
I do understand your question.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to explain it more. I did think about this, and I completely believe parents are too overly concerned about their parents. Of course, you want to put your children as paramount to your life. And, you know, in the way you are giving up your life for your children, you have to sacrifice a lot. But that sacrifice doesn't mean that you want the children to never experience pain or suffering, because it's my opinion that parents should prepare their children to be full and well-oriented adults. And as an adult, as any adult knows, life has a lot of pain and difficulties. And if you maybe are concerned about your children too much, they don't know that life is difficult and painful. And when you are gone, because someday you will not be there for them, whether you die or it's just that you're not available, they will be shocked by that pain and not know how to deal with it. And it might cause a serious issue as an adult. So yeah, I don't know if I could say parents should be this concerned. Yeah.
Yes, I think there is such thing as caring too much to the detriment of the child.
Yeah, yeah. Child rearing is a very complex and difficult thing, and we all have our own opinions on it. So yeah,
Well, yeah.
yeah. You can even tell us your opinion if you would like. Do you agree with the reasons that were given in this article about parents preferring daughters over sons at all?
I'd have to say yes.
Okay.
Again, from discussions with my students and friends here in Korea, I do hear comments like, oh, I would really prefer a daughter, or, oh, my friend who's having a baby, she really wants a daughter. But I think that's fairly newly around, because when I ask my students directly, you know, my adult students, do you think your parents preferred daughters to sons? Usually the answer is no. So yes, I feel a shift between the generations.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the past there was a reverence or revering of these sons, and then these days, not so much. Also, I just thought of one thing. Back in the day, sons were the ones to earn the income and help the parents out when they got older. Now, with giant leaps forward in equality around the world, daughters are equally as available to earn money and help their parents out at an older age, or not. But at least it's that ability is there. So maybe that's another reason why sons may not be as needed anymore.
Well, yeah, and in that sense, I guess, whether you have a girl or a boy, they are equally likely to be able to look after you in your dotage.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we can only hope. Or at least have enough money to give you a really good nursing service.
Yes, oh yes, that's what I'd hope for.
Me too. I would not want my children to be burdened by my old age.
No.
A nurse whose job it is to do it is fine, but a child, no, they have their own life and they should be living it. Well, let's go ahead and take a deeper look at that vocabulary, and then we'll see you in the next unit. Bye.
Rear.
Rear.
Ultrasound.
Ultrasound.
Drive.
Drive.
Count on.
Count on.
In-laws.
In-laws.